Hey guys, welcome back to the NSPOV podcast. My name is Nian, and I'm so glad to have you guys here with me today. So let's get into it. Okay, so I wanted to start off with a little life update. So lately, I've honestly just been really focused on Rhea, and if you don't know what that is, it's me and my sister's hijab brand because we did a recent launch, like I think not last Friday, but the Friday before, and we have just been like packaging orders. Like that has been our main priority just because I want to get it out in time and just to like get it to people before Eid, if that makes any sense. Besides that, though, I have been really enjoying the warmer weather, which doesn't make sense for the Midwest right now, but you gotta enjoy it while it's there. And I just been like going on my hot girl walks and just really just taking a breather outside. I haven't been going to the gym, which honestly sucks because there is not enough hours in my day as of right now. And I know what you guys are gonna say. You guys are gonna be like, Rihanna, you can make time. And I'm just like, after 8 p.m., I really don't want to leave my house, like genuinely. Um, so I just been like doing a lot of walking and just like outdoor activities. So I'm still like somewhat being active. But honestly, I do miss my hot girl walks. Like I love being outside and I've honestly been itching to go on a hike lately, but it's not warm enough to be hiking and doing the most. So yeah, I can't wait until hiking season comes around because honestly when it does, I'm gonna be outside. I'm gonna be touching grass every day. So yeah, honestly, that's all I've been up to. It's really nice to just slow down, and I feel like that's the beauty of Ramadan. It forces you to slow down, and it's something that I've been trying to practice in my life in general, is just like being able to take a step back and reflect and be able to come back with 100%. And for the longest time, I feel like I was caught up in the grind and just constantly doing things and being busy. And during that process, I lost myself along the way. And the thing is, that was my normal. Like, it was normal for me to have the craziest to-do list and do a million things just keeping myself busy. And the craziest part was a lot of the things that I was doing at the time I had no passion for. I was doing them just to do them. Like there was really no purpose behind it. It didn't drive me in any way, shape, or form. So I was just being busy rather than finding things that actually fulfilled me. And honestly, it took so much time for me to realize that. And there's this question that I've been asked by many people, and I'm pretty sure you guys have been asked by many people, and it's to tell me about yourself. I honestly do not like that question. I've never liked that question. I feel like whether or not I see it coming, it still kind of puts me on the spot. And I just didn't know what to say. Like my mind would go blank. And it's not because I'm a shy person or it's not because I didn't want to talk about myself, but the fact that I genuinely did not have an answer. Like I didn't know what to say. And a lot of that is mainly because I just kept myself busy without actually taking the time to know myself. And honestly, I feel like a lot of us fall into this trap of keeping busy because we think it gives us purpose. We tie a lot of our worth to how much we're doing and our productivity just to look impressive or just to look like you have things figured out. And and I'll be honest, I am as guilty as they come. I feel like I put so much work and energy into a curated plan that I had for myself that I followed to the T, and whatever I can get my hands on, I did. And if I even had like the slightest room to breathe, I would find something to fill it because I just didn't want to look like I was existing. And not doing anything or not being productive. And honestly, like, that's just how our society is built, especially in today's day and age, because everybody's talking about productivity and how to be more productive and how to use your time wisely. And I'm just like, but what do you even fill that time with? Like, do you just do things to do things? Like, are you just doing busy work, or are you doing something that you're truly passionate about? I was honestly so caught up in looking like I was doing something meaningful that I never actually stopped to ask myself if any of it even mattered to me. And like, you have to ask yourself whether or not you love what you're doing, or if you're just afraid of feeling like you're falling behind. And it's a hard truth to face, because once you take away the constant movement, you're just left with yourself. And if you don't know yourself, the silence is honestly terrifying. And I really feel like that's why I hated the question, tell me about yourself, because it took me so long to actually take the time to sit with myself and actually find an answer for that. And I feel like I spent so much time just doing things left and right, but I had no idea what I actually liked and disliked, or even if I was passionate about what I was doing, or if I have any other passions. Like, passion is something you discover over time, but I never took the time to actually discover some passions that I did have. And once I realized that, it was super uncomfortable. Like, it was actually one of the most uncomfortable situations I've been in. And it's because you have to admit that you don't know yourself as well as you thought. And honestly, that is scary, because one of my biggest fears is living my life on autopilot and not actually being present and enjoying life for what it is, because we're not here for a very long time. So why not enjoy it? Why not experience it for what it is, rather than just like turning off your brain and just going through the motions? Because honestly, all I want in life is to experience it to the fullest. I want to have different seasons and be open to them. Um, and just like have different passions, because you might have something that you're passionate about now, but maybe 10, 15 years down the road, you're not passionate about it anymore. But then in that season of your life, you have new passions, you have different experiences, and that's honestly the beauty of life. And it's my goal to just let things happen naturally and let them flow. Because at the end of the day, if you really think about it, we're all just multifaceted. Like, we can't put ourselves into a singular box and be like, this is who I am. Because there's just so many different versions of us. Because the way I am with my friends, I'm not with my family. The way I am with my family, I'm not with my friends. You know what I mean? I'm a different person to everybody that meets me. And that's just because of situations. And the type of relationship that is, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that I show like certain sides to certain people, but that's just how it naturally works. Like, every relationship is going to be different. Everybody that I meet is going to have a different experience. Um, and that's just the way that life really is. And honestly, the only way you'll truly learn about yourself is to take the time to sit with yourself, reflect, and to also experience life for yourself. You have to go through these experiences in order to learn whether or not something is for you or if it's not. You know what I mean? And honestly, the reality is, if you don't really take the time to get to know yourself, figure out your passions and who you are as a person, you start to borrow identities. Like, for example, you want to be a firefighter, right? Your whole identity is, I am a firefighter. You attach yourself to that thing, and it sounds good, you know what I mean? And it looks good on paper, and it gives you an answer to when people ask you, what do you do? But honestly, when you take away that title, who are you? You know what I mean? So it's important to get to know that person. And honestly, that realization is what pushed me to do all my side quests. It pushed me to try hiking. It pushed me to start this podcast, come back on social media, and just like be myself. You know what I mean? So I really just let myself try. I paid attention to what kind of got my interest, you know what I mean? And once I gave myself permission to do those things for no other reason than the fact that I actually enjoy what I'm doing, you know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily matter whether or not it translates into your career, because a lot of the times our passions don't translate into that. It doesn't make us money, or, we don't benefit in any financial way, but then we do benefit in so many other ways. Like, we actually feel fulfilled in life, and we all have different purposes, different passions, and it's really our duty to just explore that. Like, that is why we're here. And I genuinely believe that's one of the main reasons that we're here, is to figure ourselves out along the way. And a lot of the times people find themselves at a younger age. People find themselves at 50, and that's totally fine, because we all have our own timeline, right? Because honestly, passion isn't something that just shows up one day, knocks on your door like, hey, this is what you're meant to do forever. You have to actually go out of your way to find it, and you also have to be okay with not having an answer right away, because it takes time. So it's really not about that instant satisfaction or that immediate reward that you get, even though we live in a world that glorifies that overnight success and stuff like that. But real passion is about building something over time and putting your blood, sweat, and tears into it, even if nobody's watching. You know what I mean? Anywho, I wanted to throw in a little side note here. So a couple years ago, I went to New York for a weekend with my family, and I think my brother got us tickets to go see the Van Gogh, the immersive experience. And it was wonderful. It was like all these projectors showing his artwork, and it was honestly amazing. And it was like what really got me into art and in general. And the reason why I bring up Vincent van Gogh is, we all know him as this amazing, great artist that poured everything into his art, which he did. He made over 2,100 art pieces, but during his lifetime, he only sold one painting, which is absolutely insane, because it wasn't until after he passed away where his art just took off, and all his artwork is now priceless, and he is considered one of the greatest artists of all time. So honestly, it's just so insane to think that somebody that poured everything into their craft never actually got to experience the impact that it had. So that's the thing about passion. Just because something isn't recognized immediately doesn't mean it's not valuable. So yeah, honestly, my mission as of today is to find myself, is to find my passions, and to just nurture it, you know what I mean? Because I'm 21 years old. I just started living, and it's funny because like my mom and my grandmother always say this as well. They're like, your life is just starting, so take the time to figure it out, take the time to find yourself, and once you do, then you're actually living rather than just existing in this world. And honestly, when I started to apply myself and try new things, um, especially like in areas where I'm actually interested in, then I've learned the difference between just being busy and actually building something meaningful. And it doesn't have to be meaningful to everybody, it just has to be meaningful to you, because at the end of the day, it's your passions, nobody else's. And you also have to be okay with people not understanding it, because not everybody will understand your passion. You know what I mean? Not everybody will understand you. And that's totally fine. You just have to continue living. Another thing that I've genuinely struggled with in my transition period is letting go of the need to be impressive. I was doing so many things just to make myself sound impressive. And I tied that to my identity, because for so long I was just curating this perfectly packaged answer to who I was. like I needed to be working towards something huge or constantly achieving something in order to feel important. But the truth is, your identity is not your resume. You are not your resume. You don't have to prove yourself in order to feel important, because you are important. You know what I mean? And it's not your job title or whatever it is that make you important. You're important because you are you. You see what I'm saying? And another major thing is that you don't have to have everything figured out, because in order to figure things out, you need to be lost for a while. And that's just how it works. In order to figure out that you need to drink water, you need to be thirsty. You know what I mean? In order to feel full, you need to be hungry. Like, it balances itself out. And regardless of what point of life you are in order to figure something out, you need to be lost for a while. And currently, for me, I am in my lost period, and that is okay. As long as I'm working towards something to find my direction and to find where I'm going, then I am good. I am being productive, as they say. So yeah, you are not your resume. You are not defined by what you do. Instead, you are defined by who you are. And who you are is constantly changing and is constantly evolving, because we are constantly learning more and more about ourselves and our likes and dislikes, and we're learning new passions at different times in our lives. And honestly, that's just the reality of things, because we are constantly changing. Therefore, at every point in your life, you can't truly know yourself 100%. And that is fine, because you are learning who you are a little bit more every single day, as long as you pay attention. Anywho, I think I'm going to be ending the episode here today. But before I go, I wanted to leave you guys with a quote from the one and only Vincent van Gogh. And this was from a letter that he was writing to his brother. What would life be if we had no courage to attempt anything? Let that one sink in, y'all. Anywho, thank you guys so much for listening and spending this time with me. If you guys like this episode, don't forget to leave a comment and a review. And if you love this podcast, make sure to share it with your friends, family, whomever you think will like it. And if you guys ever want to connect, I am on socials at Rian's POV. And I hope you guys all have an amazing day. And I will see you guys in the next episode.